Have you ever asked, what is heaven? Is it another dimension, a paradise? Does it really even exist? We're all going to pass from this earth, and knowing what comes next can end the fear of death and bring you peace. Our goal here at Hello Heaven is to answer these questions and many more concerning the afterlife. Welcome to our podcast, Hello Heaven.
Well, hello. Welcome, everyone, to our podcast, Hello Heaven. I'm Barry Strohm, your host. If you're interested in learning the truth about heaven and tonight about proof of aliens, you've come to the right place.
And I'm Connie Strohm, your co-host. Barry and I have been communicating with the spirits for over 15 years now and have compiled a huge amount of information about the afterlife. We currently have over 825 videos on our YouTube channel. It's in the name of Barry Strohm, and you can view our past shows as we brought you all the aspects of the paranormal and the supernatural.
Indeed. Now, Hello Heaven's broadcast on YouTube Live, as well as my personal Facebook page and in our Facebook groups. Our most active group is Words of God Then and Now. All our live videos are broadcast there. Audios of our broadcasts can be downloaded on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Alexa, and just about any platform you can think of. Now, tonight, we're going to discuss the proof of the existence of aliens as a result of our own interactions. And Connie and I have had a lot of interactions. And then we're going to channel with our spirit friend, Fred, and have him give him some examples as well. So hopefully when we're finished, you will agree there is no doubt as to the existence of extraterrestrials from other planets. I know we have no doubt about it, believe me. So if you're a steady listener to our shows, you've probably heard some of the stories before. But what I want to do tonight is organize all of our stories in one place and then have Fred come in as a cleanup hitter and give you some real information about what he's experienced. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Now, we're going to start by having Connie say the prayer of protection, because we're going to be opening a channel to the other side, and we don't want any strange company coming in.
No, we do not. God, please grant us your wisdom and protection. Grant us the knowledge that we can handle and keep us safe from all things that will harm us. Keep the messages positive and full of love. Keep us safe from our egos. We ask these things in the light of the seen, the unseen, and the honesty of God.
Now, Connie had the first interaction with aliens that we were well aware of. I'm sure we had other ones before, but it took place over 25 years ago when we were living in Florida. She had dropped me off at the airport in Fort Lauderdale and was driving back up on I-95 when she was abducted. And she's going to be the best one to tell you this story. So we'll start with that.
Yes, and they add that it was during rush hour, so the traffic was pretty heavy. So anyway, I was driving back towards home, and I took note to one exit, and then it was like someone took a button and pushed it on my brain and just killed my brain. And the next thing I know, it's like that button was pushed again, and all of a sudden my brain's awake, and I was 2 exits further north. So I could not figure out what the heck happened. I went to my cardiologist, and he did some tests, and he said, Connie, you're okay. He said, I just think you fell asleep. And I thought at that time, if I fell asleep, my body would relax, and I'd have wrecked the darn car, and who knows how many people I'd have taken out. So anyway, I finally got to the point where I stopped thinking about it and trying to figure it out. And we were working on the book, Aliens Among Us, Past and Present. And Barry actually asked Moo, the alien that we were communicating with, to do those books. He said, hey, Moo, have Connie or I ever been abducted? And Moo said, Connie has. And I knew exactly when it was. And I said, Moo, how come I didn't wreck the car? And he said, it's easy when you know how. I said, okay, so tell me how. And he said, shapeshifter. So evidently what happened was a shapeshifter took over driving my car for me while they took me up to explain to me what was in our future. They were trying to prepare me for what we're doing right now. And they did a fine job. I've never been fearful of it.
Yeah, and she actually made it back in one piece. Interesting. Okay, so in 2016, I published my first alien book. It was Aliens Among Us, Exploring Past and Present. And it was based on channeling an alien form from the planet Robe. And his name was Mu. He told us we could not pronounce his real name, so just to call him Mu. He gave us an incredible amount of information about what was taking place on Earth basically for millions of years. In the book, I published multiple images that indicated the activities of ancient aliens. And it was a pretty good book, if I got to say so myself. But I'm going to show you just a couple of images from the book that do kind of indicate. Now, the first image I'm going to show you is that. That was drawn inside a cave in France, and it was drawn over 10,000 years ago. It's one of the earliest indications of individuals from other planets that we've been able to locate. That picture is in the book. Another one that I found extremely interesting is this one. This is a panel taken from one of the pyramids in Egypt. It was done probably 2,000 to 3,000 BC. But I want you to look at some of the images. If you look top center, you'll see what looks like a modern helicopter. You'll see other types of vehicles. Center right, you can see a vertical stabilizer on the vehicle. Now keep in mind, this image was done probably 3,000 to 4,000 years ago. But the Egyptians recorded some of the individuals that were giving them some help and were actually helping them to build the pyramids at the time. Now, we're going to look at this one. This is taken from the Nazca Lines. It's in Peru, and there's some amazing images down there. If you've never checked it out, go online and put in Nazca Lines. Now, believe it or not, this image is scratched on the side of a mountain. This is a huge image. And we asked Mu how they put that image on the mountain. And he said they were testing their laser guns and they used them to carve an image into the sidewall. But this thing is hundreds and hundreds of feet long. And you have to be in the air to truly appreciate the shape. Nazca Lines are incredible. I am not sure that there's anywhere that can truly compare to them. I enjoy going back and looking at them, and I know if you do it, you'll do the same thing. Now, there's many, many more images that are available. I think I published like 40 images of aliens that were around in the past for us. Now, one of the true encounters that I had happened while I was taking photographs out on the battlefield of Gettysburg. I was driving Connie's convertible, and I had the top down, and I was snapping pictures all around the area as I was driving very slowly. And I had the backs on the cameras all had digital images so that I could see the last picture that I took. So I snapped the photo, and I looked, and I thought, man, what is that image that I'm looking at? I had 3 different cameras with me, so I fired images from all 3 cameras. And this type of light bar started to appear on all the images that I was shooting on this one side of the car. I drove along, I kept taking pictures, and this image kept following me. And it dawned on me all of a sudden, maybe I shouldn't be out here by myself tonight. But I wound up, I got 40 images of this, and here I'm going to show you what it looked like. This is one of the images. Now, that round ball that you're looking at is the moon, to give you a little bit of the idea of size of it. But it almost looked like a modern light bar for what it is. But this was probably the best image I got of it, of the 40. But here's another one. And it moved around. It changed size. Now you can see this is taken with a different camera, and it was down. That was a bush that was around this location. So I had all these pictures of it, didn't know what it was. So we went back and we decided we were going to channel and ask what this thing was. So we got Moo on, and he was kind enough to inform me that this thing that I had been photographing was actually an alien drone. I asked him why it was following me, and Moo was known to have a few smart answers when you question him. And he said, well, I guess the aliens were ghost hunting like you were. So he never really gave me a true answer. But I do know that I still have 40 images from that night. And as best I can tell you, and what Moo told me, it actually was an alien drone. Now, the most realistic image that I had of an alien, and I've told this story quite a few times, so hold your ears shut if you've already heard it. But we were in our apartment by the store in Pennsylvania, and this was about 8-9 years ago now. We were working with two individuals from Salt Lake City that had taught us how to do board channeling. They'd been doing it for 30, 40 years and were incredible abilities at it. And when I would want something in those days, a verification, I would often call them and ask them if they could use their channeling board and get an answer for me. So we were in our little apartment, and it's about 3 a.m, and we had night lights on because we have cats, and we use night lights a lot, as old people do. So I woke up, I sat up in my bed, and I looked over with Connie laying next to me. And here's this big image standing by the side of the bed. And I thought, well, I must be dreaming this thing. So I made sure I was awake, shook my head, looked over again. And I was looking at a short-nosed reptilian. It was probably standing there about 7 foot, had the short nose on it. And I'm looking at it, and he turns his head and looks at me and smiles. I could see a reptilian smile. All of a sudden, it's like he snaps his fingers, and I'm knocked out. I'm back asleep. So I wake up the next morning, and I'm going, that was really weird. I had to be dreaming this thing. So I told Connie about it, but I made a point of not saying that this thing had smiled at me, because I thought that was really pushing it, even for me. So I got on the phone with my friends in Salt Lake, 2,000 miles away. They had absolutely no idea. And I simply said, do you care? Can we get on Skype tonight? Because I want you to channel a question for me. So that night we get on Skype, and they have the channeling board in front of them. And I said, can we have Moo come in for you out there? Because I want to ask him a question and I want you to answer it. So they get an answer that Moo has come in for them, and he's standing there. So I said, Moo, did I see an alien last night in our bedroom? And our friends in Salt Lake City come back with the answer, yes. And did you see him smile at you? And nobody in the world except myself realized that this reptilian had looked at me and smiled. So that was pretty good proof that I had actually saw one. So our life goes on. We're out here in Park City now. A couple of weeks ago, I get up, get my blue jeans out that I'd worn the day before to put them on. I go to fasten the belt, and my belt is bent, the buckle. This is what I'm talking about. I hope everyone can see it. It's kind of hard to see. And actually, it's kind of hard to get straight. But if you look at it, look how the prong is bent. See that? No way I'm putting that on. So I look at this thing in the morning, and it was not this way when I took my pants off the night before. So I called my friend, an engineer, and I said, what does it take to bend this thing? And he says, well, first of all, I don't think you can bend it because it's brittle metal and it'll break. And I sent him a picture of it, and he has absolutely no idea how this happened. But I can tell you, when I got up in the morning, this is what I found. So, time to talk to Laura. So I asked for Laura to come in and we channel with her. And I said, we did this live on one of our Hello Heaven shows a couple of months ago. Because I had an idea it had to take, for that type of energy, it had to be something alien related. But I honestly didn't know. So I asked Laura, I said, well, what happened to the belt buckle? And she said, oh, an alien did it. All right, well, in my life, that's pretty normal. So I said, okay, why would they do something like that? They said, because they wanted you to know that they'd come during the night. And I said, why did they come? And then she drops the bomb. She says, because they abducted you. So apparently a couple of weeks ago, I went for a trip with the aliens and they wanted me to know it. And they left that belt as proof that something truly miraculous had taken place. So you can believe it or not, but I just showed you a picture of it. And I know I certainly can't explain it. So you can see Connie and I have had many, many interactions, and I've had other ones as well. I think the one that got my attention was the abduction, because I didn't think that was ever going to happen. I knew they would take her, but I never thought they were going to take me. So anyway, that's some of the things that have happened to Connie and I that are pretty good proof of an alien existence, needless to say. So let's now change the pace a bit, and let's channel with our alien spirit, Fred. And let's see if he can give us a little bit more information as to true proof that aliens do exist among us. So anyway, Fred, welcome back to Hello Heaven.
Yes, Fred, welcome back. Will you please give us one additional information, some more information about why they bent Barry's belt buckle and why he was abducted? There's always a reason.
Yes, Connie, there's always a reason for everything. It's just you may not realize what these reasons are. Barry was abducted for several reasons. First of all, God had told the aliens that Barry has multiple books to write yet. He needs to finish the ones that he's working on, and he needs to keep to be able to give these messages. He had a physical problem that was going to be serious. So they cured that problem while he was with them. But they also wanted to instill some information, because one thing aliens can do on an abduction is they can put information into an individual's head. They can help program their future lives, so to speak. They can prepare them for making future decisions. So they wanted Barry to understand exactly what he has to do in the future yet. And that is what they did. But they truly wanted him to understand that they had been there. And as soon as he looked at that belt buckle, he had a pretty good idea that it had been something that only an alien could do. He had seen many things that spirits have been able to do that are amazing, but never anything that took this type of energy. You cannot take that buckle and bend it. but it was nothing for the friends that came to visit him. So they just truly wanted to leave a calling card so that he would understand that things were taking place and that there were still things in the future that he was supposed to do. Connie?
Will you explain the abduction process for us? Excuse me, I'm not drunk, believe me.
It uses the normal energies that extraterrestrials possess. If you watched movies like Star Wars, or you would see the concept of beam me up, Scotty. That wasn't necessarily in Star Wars, but you're familiar with what I'm talking about. They have the ability to have your body literally change dimensions and to transform your body energy, take it, transport it, and take it onto the ships, and then, just like they do in the shows, beam you back so that they can do what they need to do during the process. When they do it, in all probability, you're not going to remember it. There are instances that people have memories of abductions. And in Barry's case, they did a procedure and they cured a problem that he was working on that he didn't even realize he had. But that's how it takes place. It's basically a transformational energy that brings you inner dimensions. And when you do this, you basically are transparent in the three-dimensional form of Earth. But they will bring you back, and perhaps they will even they will transform you into a dimension that you've never experienced before. So there are many, many things that humans do not understand about the energies that are available to the extraterrestrials. Just as like when they make crop circles, that's a unique use of energies that you're looking at. But they've done many things through the years. They have capabilities that are far beyond your imagination.
What do you consider the best proof that extraterrestrials exist here on this planet Earth?
That's a very interesting question. There are many ways that you can look at this. There are many proofs that are before you. You can look at all of the ancient evidence that exists. Just many of the pictures that Barry showed. The Nazca lines are a wonderful example. You can look at the cave images. Your Native Americans have many images in their petroglyphs that have alien forms. But today you're seeing the advent of photographic images, real images of alien ships, real images of aliens themselves. In modern times, there have been specific incidents where there have been malfunctions on their ships, and these ships have crashed. If the government would level with you, they have got the remains of actual aliens, and they have photographs of the wrecked vehicles that they were in. Roswell is a perfect example for it. There are many other examples of it. There have been incidents in Russia. There was an accident before the Second World War in Germany. There are many, many instances where aliens have been actually photographed, but the photographs have been kept secret because the powers that be do not believe that humans are ready to truly understand the existence of aliens. So I would say that the best the best proof lies in those incidents where there have been disasters and the ships have actually been photographed, and the individuals themselves that were killed in the incident have been photographed. There are many ways. There are many people that speak of abductions, but I would think that the photographic proof of the wrecks would probably be the strongest indication at this point.
Yeah. Is there any absolute proof that aliens are living among us?
That's another very interesting question. Aliens, shapeshifters, have been living among humans for many, many years. They have interbred with humans to the point that the offspring do not even realize that they have had a parent from another planet. As for absolute proof, there are certain individuals that bear resemblances to extraterrestrial forms. You might see different types of eyes. You might see different ways they look at you. But generally, it's very, very difficult. Some of your greatest scientists and geniuses through the years have been offspring of aliens. And that is how the intellectual abilities have been transferred to the human race. So if you know what to look for, I would say it's not that difficult, but humans have no idea what to look for.
What alien type living among us is the most numerous?
The Pleiadians, they're very adept at shape-shifting, and they're very adept at establishing themselves as part of the human community. There are other forms that shapeshift, but not to the extent that has been perfected by the Pleiadians. The Pleiadians can actually interbreed with humans, and they have been able to change DNA. They've been able to do what they need to do, that the offspring that are created are humans, but they may have these superhuman tendencies. Sometimes there are mutations that take place, but generally the interbreeding process has been very, very, very successful.
Why aren't we more aware of them?
Because they're so good. They can totally assimilate human forms. They can change their forms. They can create different forms through interbreeding with humans. This has been going on for thousands and thousands of years. So you have to understand that the interbreeding has been perfected through that time. In the ancient days, it was the interbreeding with aliens that actually speeded the evolution of humans. There were humanoid types that were incapable of advancing to the intellectual levels that God wanted them to do. So he created interbreedings with extraterrestrials, and they helped to change these different types of individuals. So it's been thousands of years of practice. And after 5 or 6 generations of this interbreeding, they are completely human in form. The tendencies will be reduced through the different generations. And what you will see is simply another human walking among you that has alien ancestors. So it's a very, very complex and difficult situation to understand.
Was Albert Einstein by any chance one of those people?
Einstein had very close relationships with an alien, with a Palladian. He was not multiple generations away. His father was a Palladian.
So, what is the purpose of having aliens living among us when those individuals don't even know that they're of alien descent?
Because they have these special abilities, they don't even understand what they are. Sometimes a person of great intellect has had extraterrestrial inbreeding, and he uses that intellect even though he doesn't understand how he got that intellect. So, as in all evolutions, things are carried forward generationally. For instance, if a Palladian intermingles with a human female, and she does not even realize this, their child will have characteristics of the father as well as the mother. It might be that it will have some great physical ability. It might be that it may have a mental capability, but it will bring forward improvements in the evolutionary process. Connie?
Why did that drone follow Barry in Gettysburg?
I guess you're not accepting the fact that the aliens were ghost hunting.
Not exactly.
They were trying to influence him while he was writing his alien books. They wanted to give him as much interaction as possible. That's why the reptilian appeared to him in the bedroom. So they wanted to know if he would fear, because many people fear the concept of an alien. But he looked at that alien standing by the side of the bed and felt no fear over it. Just the same as when he knew that he was being followed by this mechanical drone. He was apprehensive, but he wasn't fearful. So we had to keep testing to know whether he would show fear or not. And we found that he never did. And that was very important so that we continue to give him different types of information. If he was very fearful of all this, of his interactions with the alien spirits, then he would not have been able to have a truthful encounter, and he would not have been able to write truthfully of what was taking place. We wanted to make sure that he was not altering the information that he was receiving. And if he feared, the probability would be increased that he would alter the information. And that was not something we wanted.
When do you think there will be absolute proof of alien existence?
We thought it would have taken place by now. But humans keep getting misdirected by wars, by hatreds. We are on a track. Aliens have been showing themselves in many different ways. It is inevitable that something will happen in the very near future that's going to create that. Perhaps there will be another accident, a malfunction, where another ship is destroyed on Earth. Today, if this happens, it would be very hard to cover it because of everyone is carrying a phone in their hip pocket and they all have cameras. So it would be very difficult. An individual today that would discover such an accident would certainly take pictures of it, and they would certainly publicize it. In today's world, they would probably try to sell the photographs.
Mm-hmm. So how will aliens prove that they exist, where there will be absolutely no further doubt?
They will appear. There might be some type of an accident. They may come down after the accident and try to rescue some of their compatriots. But it will be recorded. It will be something that is not going to be able to stay hidden. The governments will probably still try, because a lack of knowledge is always a very strong thing for a government. The aliens are capable of doing amazing things. For instance, what would happen if an alien came to Earth, showed that he had these special powers, and wanted to run for president of the United States? Would he be elected? So there are many things to think about. The politicians worry too much. I would not think that there would be an alien that would want to ever be president of the United States. That would be one of the dumbest things that they could ever do. And they are not dumb.
No, they're not. They're all smarter than us. So why is this alien disclosure taking so darn long?
It's taking long because of all the distractions. The feeling is that while there are so many wars taking place, so many hatreds, that the alien presence, the knowledge of the alien presence, would be counterproductive, because there's so many things that can distract. Today, if an alien showed up, they might think that it was a Russian super weapon. So humans have got to advance. They've got to understand that they must be able to live in peace. We thought that it could have taken place by now, so there would be no doubts. But everything seems to be degenerating on the part of humans on this earth. The threat of destruction. We do not want to put the alien community in a situation where they are blamed for something that another country would do with nuclear weapons. So there's a lot of considerations. There's a lot of immensely intelligent creatures that are thinking about this and how best to do it. Sadly, it are the humans that are, as they say, throwing a monkey wrench into the works. But there will soon be a time. Humans just have to get their act together, and then we will show ourselves, and all will hopefully be well in the future. But once the aliens are participating on a daily basis with humans, they expect the humans to be able to reciprocate and show peace among themselves. So there's still a little bit of a hurdle to take place.
For your final comments today, will you tell us what you would do if you were not in the spirit to finalize alien disclosure?
If I was alive today, I would start by trying to influence the leaders of countries that are at war. I would try to influence them that they need to destroy their nuclear weapons and live in peace. I would start by having them do what I needed to do to have them end these wars. If it was necessary that a country on the side of good needed special weaponry, I would probably help them develop it to end the war. I would do everything that I could to speed up the human evolution towards loving one another and living peacefully. Once that takes place, then it is possible that I would have small events occur. I might have a small ship come in and fake an accident and have all of the members of the crew live so that they could communicate, so that they could be on the evening news. I would probably do it in small doses like that, but something radical has to take place, and that radical change has to begin with the humans themselves. We cannot give them technologies that they will use to kill others and to harm their own evolution. So that is always the risk. Once extraterrestrials are helping humans on a daily basis, the humans may use the technologies that they're given to do what they should not be doing with them. So we have to be sure the humans are ready. And the situations have got to be manipulated that we can control the use of the technologies that they learn from us. In the past, they've used the technologies to create nuclear weapons and then proliferate them throughout many countries so that humans their complete existence is at risk. So it's a matter of human evolution, and how humans change is how we would act when the time comes that there will be no doubt. So it's coming. It's just a matter of when.
Thanks. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you, Fred. It's always educational.
Yeah, Fred, thanks a lot. That was some good stuff tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. If you'd like to participate on the show, send an email to onestrom@gmail.com. Describe your story of the supernatural, who you'd like to channel, your questions. I'll get back to you and we'll set up a time to record. My new book, Jesus: The Missing Years of Modern Gospels, is available on Amazon, my websites, barrystrom.com and spiritspredict.com. The book explains in detail what is missing in the gospel and the Bible. There's nothing in the book in the Bible about the 33 years from the birth of Jesus to the beginning of his ministries. Connie and I channeled 24 different spirits that walked the earth with Jesus during his lifetime. They told us what took place. We have a lot of comments from Jesus himself about his life. It's available in softcover ebook, audiobook, and hardcover on Amazon. Now, please, if you read any of my books, please leave recommendations for them. Reviews are the key on Amazon for them to recommend the books to others. In spite of many people saying how much they like the book, we really don't have many reviews. And until we do, they're not going to advertise the books for us. So please leave reviews. It's so very helpful. Now, this is Memorial Day weekend, when we honor those who serve to protect our freedom. If you've never been to a national cemetery, take time to go to one. Arlington is absolutely beyond belief. Once you go there and you see those thousands of headstones that are lined up, you won't look at things the same way. Each one of those headstones represents a soldier that served and that gave everything for his country. Each one of those headstones represent a family being destroyed through war. It's all of our responsibility to try to bring peace wherever we can. We have to defend ourselves. Everyone knows that. But these men have given everything. Thousands upon thousands of men have died so that we have the freedom that we have. We need to protect those freedoms. We need to do it out of respect for all of those that went before us. Okay?
Thank you for listening to our podcast, Hello Heaven. Please join us on YouTube Live as well as Facebook Live on Barry's personal page and in all of our Facebook groups on Fridays at 6 p.m. Pacific Time. The audio of our shows can be heard on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Alexa, Spotify, iHeart, and all the major platforms. So please tell your friends about our shows. They're all meant to prove the existence of an afterlife and to bring you peace.
I'd also like to thank you for listening to our show. It's a pleasure to do these things. I know people can't believe some of the things that Connie and I have been through in our lives, but they're true. The last thing we would ever do is lie to you about this stuff. Believe me, we don't have to lie. We've just had incredible experiences. We tried to tell you of them, bring them together tonight so that they're in one package. I know we bored some of you because you heard it before, So keep in mind, everyone's going to pass from this earth, and the more you know about the journey of the soul, the less you have to fear. So please tell your friends about our show. It's the only way that we're ever going to be able to grow with our listenership. So goodbye, and we thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for listening to Hello Heaven. Please join us Fridays at 6 p.m. Pacific Time on YouTube and Facebook. You can hear us on multiple audio platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, Alexa, and other media platforms as well. If you'd like to appear on the show, send an email to onestrom@gmail.com and tell us your story. Have a great week. Tell your friends about our show. They'll thank you for it. Music is by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com.